Hello ladies and gentlemen, Xcentori here, and welcome back to another video. Now I hope all of you are doing well, because I'm as always. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys some of the best aircraft in infinite flight as of the summer, or July shall we say, of 2023. Now I do these videos relatively often because I believe it changes depending on popularity of routes and aircraft in infinite flight, especially with all of the updates which happen on this simulator. Now before we do start, I'd like to let us all know that we are closing in on that big 5,000 number, so if you are new here, please do make sure you like and subscribe. And I'm also officially done with uni now for the year, so we're hoping to get in at least 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 videos in a week, along with hopefully a stream at some point. Now, the first aircraft of choice here is of course the Airbus A330-300. Now this aircraft in infinite flight is magnificent. I flew it literally 2 days ago, I think, from Istanbul airport, which is where I am right now, across to London Heathrow, and I loved it. There was no issue I had with this aircraft at all. It flew perfectly, seamlessly. There was absolutely no issue, and it is a phenomenal aircraft. Now, as you saw a couple of minutes ago, there is a literal interior in the aircraft. Not all infinite flight aircraft actually have a complete interior. I mean, this one hasn't got a fully interior, probably due to like storage on like the iPads and phones and all that, because they probably lag out if you just had an aircraft full of chairs. Which is one thing, and I believe if I go in systems and actions, I can open that cockpit door, hopefully. Okay, maybe not. Well, we'll go into the cockpit itself then, where we've got the tray table down anyway, which you can see open up and close, along with that window there on the side. But this Airbus A330-300 also has a full interior cockpit, and it is just a magnificent aircraft, like I've said already. Let's go see how many liveries. It's got a relatively decent amount of liveries here, as you can see on the side, going from Aer Lingus down to Virgin Atlantic, and I believe I've been on a A334 Turkish Airlines and Virgin Atlantic before, in real life of course, and they are lovely aircraft. So there are a lot of variety of aircraft you can see here for the lovely little A330 here, even going some very like Cathay Pacific. I've been on that as well. So again, that is a lovely looking aircraft. Now I feel like we're going to have to skip along to the E190s, because funny enough, the E190 I think is honestly one of the better aircraft in infinite flight. Now even the E175, they can sort of go together under the same bracket, because they pretty much are the same aircraft, to be honest. But we'll go in the BA City Flyer. We'll just stay at Istanbul for now. I mean, not that we'll find an E175 from British Airways at Istanbul at this current time. I don't even know if the range of this aircraft will go that far. Let's see how much. Yeah, I mean, the aircraft can make the trip. It's definitely under 6 hours. But yeah, it's a lovely little aircraft, this. Now, you can see here as well how nicely it actually kind of joins up with some of the ground stuff. I mean, there is a little gap there, you know, please mind the gap. But it's a lovely little aircraft, so let's go inside of this thing. It's so much smaller than the A330, but yeah, we'll just try and like squeeze in. Can we go up? There we go. Now look, it's a full aircraft here, as you can see, with seats and everything. You got the galley at the back, looks relatively decent. You know, you got the little doors and all that. Are all the doors open? I can't open the back door, sadly, but we'll do the open up all the caterings. And I believe we can actually open the cockpit door. There we go. And then of course in here we've got the actual cockpit itself. Now the cockpit on this aircraft is pretty good. It's obviously the most modern cockpit we have in infinite flight with regards to update wise. And we can hear the aircraft coming to life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn down the game volume. If I can find it. There we go. Turn that onto 0 so I don't hear anything. But yeah, hopefully that cockpit will come to life in just a second. But yeah, it's a fully 3D working cockpit, and there we go. Look at how good and fresh the screens look here. They look really, really good and really amazing. So this is one of the better aircraft in infinite flight. Now I did fly it a while ago, probably a month or 2 ago now, we're thinking, since I last flew this aircraft, because I've been very busy. But it was a nice little aircraft to fly, and it's lovely to fly out of London City Airport if you're looking into that for infinite flight. Now, the next aircraft, we're going to go to a Boeing now, because I feel like we've already done some of the others, but we're going to go to the 777s. Now, I think this can count maybe as a whole family, but we will obviously take the Turkish Airlines livery once again. But there is so many different liveries, as you can see here. I'm just clicking on some random ones to show you some of the things we have on the 777. Air New Zealand love that livery on there. But we will go back down to the Turkish Airlines livery and we will have a look at the aircraft. Now, the 777 is unique in infinite flight, but the fact that it's got custom engine sound, so the engines actually sound like they should do for the actual aircraft instead of the classic infinite flight engines making their own noises. So that is something we got for there. So I'm just going to turn on the APU as well so that starts up soon. Now it's a massive aircraft. There's nothing else you can say about it. It's such a big plane on infinite flight. It's a relatively popular aircraft, I think. You see it flying quite often. Maybe not the 777-300 unless it's like an Emirates, but Turkish Airlines definitely fly them quite often. You see on infinite flight a fair few American airlines, United, mainly USA-based airlines with the 777s because people do their transatlantic crossings with them. But you know, this aircraft was first for having an interior cabin, I believe, and of course those custom engine sounds which I mentioned. Got the lovely little big galley here. I don't actually think I can open the cockpit. We can just do the wipers. But we'll go in here and just have a look. Now there is a weird gap here, which you know isn't normal, but you know you can't see that on the exterior. As you can see, you can't see it on the exterior, and I'm gonna have to go back inside the aircraft. There we go, and then of course the galley, and then we have no seats in this section or this section. I believe they are in this. Oh, there's one more section. So there were. I thought there used to be seats in the back. Maybe that's the wrong aircraft I'm thinking of. But the front section, of course, here definitely had some seats, and it was one of the first aircraft for having an interior cabin. Now, when we look at the cockpit as well, it's a lovely. It's just really good. I think it's probably one of the best, my favourite, best cockpits I'd say in infinite flight. You can see here with the interior of the cockpit, it just looks phenomenal, and it was, I think, maybe one of the first live cockpits in an airliner commercial aircraft in infinite flight, you know, excluding those little propeller jets we have. So I think it is a lovely aircraft, and just look at it from the exterior. So I think that's definitely one of the top 3 aircraft here in infinite flight. So I think for me, that is probably the best of the 3 of all of the aircraft, because there are some honourable mentions. The A220, I love that little thing, but I think the Embraers might be slightly better for now. However, the interior in the A220 is definitely better. The A320 family are amazing in for flight. Again, with the A330 family, the 900 is good. A340, it doesn't really cut it, nor does the A350 because of that interior. A380 shambles, it's being reworked, so is 717. 737 is a nice little aircraft for that interior cockpit. The 747, no cockpit. 757 though, shout out, that's got an interior cabin and a really good cockpit. That's definitely up there in the list. 767 isn't really with it, or the 787, although it's a lovely aircraft to fly. The Challenger is an alright aircraft. I mean, I'm not the greatest fan of aircraft like that, so the CRJs. The Dash 8 could do with a rework hopefully soon. And then obviously most of these are military or propellers. But if you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Good night.